Guys, your story may be the stimulus that someone else needs to get serious about Jesus. It's a big deal. Telling someone who you once were may be the thing that you've tried to hide. And yet it seems to be the place where someone else is able to connect the most. We talked earlier about stories being relatable and how they trigger empathy. People relate to stories. People envision themselves in your position. We find similarities between our stories and it builds a bond. If you hide your story, you withhold the opportunity for someone else to connect. And if you don't help someone else connect with where you once were, how can you help them connect to the rest of your story, the more important part of your story, the then God part of your story? It requires vulnerability. The then God part is crucially important. It's the most important step of you telling your story. Because if you're vulnerable just for the sake of vulnerability, then your story loses its meaning. People in Christian circles will sometimes talk about writing out or sharing their testimony. The biggest issue I tend to see with Christian testimonies is that they leave out Jesus. If you don't get to the then God part of your story, then it's just a story about you. And it might be motivational, it might make for a great movie, but if it doesn't have a then God part, then it isn't a story that leads people to Jesus. But God is accomplishing something in me that I could not do on my own. A testimony, a Jesus story should make Jesus the hero of the story because you're not the hero. Your story exists to introduce the hero, and that's the power of the story. You have got to tell the story of how you experienced God and how it changed you, or how it sustained you, or how it healed you, or how it motivated you, or how it gave you hope. And that's the third part, the now I part. You were one way, you met Jesus, and now you're something different. Does your life show any substantial change in it? And I don't mean perfection. I don't mean that you figured it all out and everybody should be able to see it. What I'm saying is, can others tell that something shifted in you? Is there evidence? Can people who've known you for 40 years see something new in you? A story of hardship is interesting, but a story of hardship that intersects with Jesus and creates transformation has power to it.